Hello, friends. Today we're taking a look at Chipotle Mexican Grill, ticker symbol CMG. We'll be looking at the stock performance in the last 5 years. We'll look at a couple of news, earnings report, performance of the last 10 years, and try to find a fair value for this company. Welcome to Money Talks with Martin Reyes, where we learn to take care of our money and find great companies at great prices. Chipotle has grown in the past 5 years almost 6.3%. There was a big jump on from December 3rd to December 4th, and part of that is the report that came that Chipotle was going to raise their U.S. prices by 2% to offset inflation costs. This is something good for the bottom line for them, and 2% is not a big jump on their prices. For those that don't know, Chipotle is a company that sells Mexican food, especially one of the things that they also focus on is everything is fresh, everything is, it's a great company, and I believe they're also getting involved with a Italian franchise. So that is something that I will encourage you to look into. In the last month, they have grown 16.4% year to date. They are 43% up, even after the big dip that they had not too long ago, back in July. And in the last 5 years, almost 300%. This is a company that is growing crazy. Their price is close to their target that analysts had for the next 12 months. They still consider it a buy. They are trading at almost 61 times earnings, and they will be reporting on February 4th. Just wanted to give you a little bit of a disclaimer when it comes to Chipotle. I own Chipotle. I bought it back when it dropped all the way to 50 after this big drop right here. Whenever we got around here, I wanted to buy it under 50. That's when I bought it at the time. It's about 5.73% of my portfolio, and it's grown about almost 31% since then. When it comes to earnings, last earnings report was on October 29th. They reported 27 cents, and they beat in normalized and GAAP EPS by 2 cents. The revenue was $2.8 billion, and they missed by almost $25 million. They're supposed to report again on February 4th, somewhere around there. And they in the last 90 days, they have had 22 revisions up and 5 down. I really like Chipotle. I think it's a company that is growing really fast, and I think that there is a lot of possibility of expansion when it comes to them. But that is just my opinion. I am not a financial advisor. I will encourage you to do your own diligence. This is just for educational purposes. And I will actually encourage you to leave a note in the comments. Let me know if you disagree with anything that I'm saying. If you have a different perspective when it comes to Chipotle, I would love to hear your point of view. Revenue in the last 5 years have been growing about 15% a year. In the last 10 years, almost 12%, with a gross margin of close to 39%, which are great numbers. Earnings have been growing. They were a little flat until 2020, and then they started growing. Last 5 years, as you can see, 34% in the last 10 years, 14%. Profit margin average in the last 5 years, it's close to 8.65%, but lately in the last 2 years, this has jumped to over 12%. And I'll come back to that in a little bit when we're doing our analysis. Free cash flow per share has been growing in the last 5 years at 27.5%. Last 10 years, almost 13%. Book value also has been growing in the last 5 years at this time at almost 17%. Last 10 years at 7.4. Return on invested equity, return on equity is 30% in average of the last 5 years. Return on asset at 8%, and return on investment capital at 10%. Great numbers. Dividend, they don't pay a dividend. Long-term debt is a little high, but most of those are because they're leases, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. The long-term debt right now, average, with the average free cash flow, they could pay it close to 5 years, which is the max that I look for. In the last 5 years, the debt has been growing about 10% every year. Shares have been going down an average of 0.5% in the last 5 years and 1.32% in the last 10 years. But that comes after a big buy-in of the stock in 2015, 2016, and 2017 to 2018. That was a big drop. Okay, so let's look at some fair value. But before we go over there, I just encourage you to, if you like what I'm sharing with you, just to click the like, make sure that you subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what kind of company you would like me to analyze after I'm done with this series of sharing with you guys the companies that I own. Using the historical multiple valuation, we see that historically a fair value for Chipotle at this time will be $56. Using the revenue value base valuation, growing it for the next 5 years, and discounted it back at 15%, it gives us a $50 fair value today. However, as you can see, the profit margin that I'm using here is the average of 10.5%. I think that if we take it to 12%, I will even say 12.5, but let's just say 12%, it gives us a number close to $57, $58. And I'm going to leave it there because I think that is a more reasonable profit margin in the last 2 years. If they can maintain that, that will be great. I mean, if they could do 13%, which is what they did last year, it will be at 62%, but I'm going to leave it at 12. The discounted earning valuation, growing the earnings at 18%, paying a 60 PE, which is what it's been trading. It will be a fair value of $74. Payback time, growing, or actually payback time, I'm not going to be using it. Discounted free cash flow valuation, growing it at 18%, gives us $66.34 as a fair value of trailing 12 months. Owner's valuation, owner's earnings valuation gives us at 60 PE, gives us $69.84. And when we put everything together, it gives us a fair value very close to the amount that is trading right now, which will be at $64.90. If you would like to have a 15% margin of safety, that will give you about $55. If you would like a 10% margin of safety, remember, these are a little low because of the 15% required rate of return that I use. That will be close to $58 or $58.41. So if you would like something a little larger, like a 20%, that will be close to $51.92. So that is the fair value based on my calculations. I don't know what you think. I would love to hear from you. Let me know down in the notes down there. I really like Chipotle. I think is one of those companies that are going to continue to grow. And so, yeah, that's my opinion. I hope that you like it, and I hope to see you in the next video.